All right, then. We're back in the building. You know what time it is. I've been having a look. I've been trying to scour all my old scouting networks. I've been trying to take a look, watch a few videos, a few compilations, but also just trying to figure out the kind of players that Liverpool, I think, should be looking at, of course, this summer. Now, obviously, I've compiled a list as best as I possibly can. I am not saying in this list that Liverpool should sign all of these said players. This is a list of players. All right. I think it's about 14 names I've got on here. So, of course, not to sign all of them. But you guys in the comment section, I want you to kind of pick the players out from maybe each kind of position, for example. So I've got defense, midfield, and of course, attack. I've tried to think realistically. I've tried to, take a look at, players who I think would come in and do a good job kind of thing. A player that I think, if I'm looking at Arne Slot and trying to see what he would want to do with the team and all of that kind of stuff. But also just players that I actually like, because there's no point me picking players that I don't, maybe I don't rate or I don't really like, kind of thing, just because Liverpool are linked with them. I kind of see no point in that. So I've tried to just also, there's maybe a couple names on there that might be, thinking outside the box and stuff like that. But listen, it is what it is. Of course, there's going to be names that I've missed out. So please, in the comment section, I really want you guys to throw some more names that you think, oh, mate, what about this guy? Or what about that guy? And blah, blah, blah. If I haven't named the player, and sorry, I have to make all these caveats and disclaimers, because I know how you guys stay. If I haven't named the player, it might not necessarily mean I don't even rate them. It just, maybe I forgot about them. Maybe I didn't even think. Maybe they're already on the move to somewhere else, potentially. So let me know, obviously, your thoughts in the comment section. All right, let's start off with defense. Luke Haber. I think have spoken about him. If you go back, if you type Luke Haber on my YouTube channel, you will see I've probably spoken about this guy for the last 2, 3, however many years, since he was at Lyon. Let's put it that way. When was that? 2022, I think, possibly. 2022. I still would sign him. Do you know what I mean? I really don't have any problems with him. Centre back / left back. Can play in a back three. I feel like he'd be comfortable somewhat. Not to say Liverpool play a back three. Just thought I'd throw that in there as a plus point. But the fact that, of course, he can obviously play at that kind of left-sided centre back. Do Liverpool have someone who can kind of already play there? I'm not 100% sure, but I think he'd be a decent option. Liverpool do need a left back as well. Obviously, he's played primarily as a centre back in recent seasons, but of course, being able to play at that left back position, I just think that Liverpool really do need that at this current moment in time. And to be honest with you, the fact that if you're going to say Kirkes is going to be the number one left back, I mean, having someone like him, again, I'm all about functionality. Liverpool really don't have those kind of functional players at all, really, in the team, bar maybe a Gomez, who can kind of play in different positions, and he's comfortable enough to play centre back, left back, and right back. We kind of forced Dom into that position, into the right back slot. Other than that, Curtis Jones, you know what I mean? It's like players who don't really look that comfortable. Whereas I feel like we should just be signing maybe a few more of those kind of players. So again, not saying Liverpool should go all out for him or anything like that, but definitely I think a name that should be on the list, at the bare minimum. Also, as well, thinking about, is Konate going to sign? Is he not going to sign? I don't know what the situation is at the time of this video. I have no clue. Van Heck at Brighton. This one was kind of like a left field for me. I was thinking about centre backs. Was taking a look at some of the stats and some of the data, and his name kind of popped up, and I just kind of took a look at him, and I was just thinking about it for a little while. And I think, ever since he joined Brighton, I just think that he's kind of just gone from strength to strength. Dutch international as well. I just think that he's a player who is really comfortable in possession. I don't feel like I get vibes of someone who's not comfortable, can pass out from the back if I need him to be able to do that. I just think this might be a player that he would be very underrated in terms of the type of signing. Obviously, he's not a big name. He's not an up-and-coming star or anything like that. I just think he's kind of like a steady Eddie, but I do think he's good enough to start games. Like, I'm not looking at him thinking, oh, God, he's starting, kind of thing. He's Premier League proven. So we definitely don't have to worry about that. And again, I think it's more about the fact that he's comfortable playing in possession. again, something that I'm just thinking about. Not someone I think can play right back or left back or anything like that, but just as a pure and natural centre back. Again, he could even be a fifth option. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've been dying to have these kind of options where you're like, oh, you've got an Akanji, you've got a Vardio, you've got a Diaz, you've got a Stones, do you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he'd just be an Ake. He'd just be one of those kind of players. If you don't think he's good enough to start the majority of games, no worries. He can be on the bench and he can start in other, in other kind of games. But again, let me know your thoughts. Ben White. Ben White, man. The Ben White one, this one, I'm not 100% sure that Arsenal are going to sell him, but I do feel that he wants game time. I feel like he'd slot in at right back super calm. Like I said, I have no issues with him being the right back next season. I think he's a better defender than both Conor Bradley and Frimpong anyway. So cool, we've already won in that battle. Going forward, I'm not going to say he's better than Frimpong. He might even just be on the same level as like a Conor Bradley going forward. What I really like about him is that he's ultra comfortable at centre back and ultra comfortable at the right back position. And I feel like he's more of a defensive. He's more defend first and then attack later. Not great going forward. I'm not going to sit here and lie, but he is a solid defender, like really, really solid. And obviously, I think it's just more the fact that because they got Dewey and Timber, obviously he's not going to get in there unless obviously he's injured. Centre back, he definitely ain't getting in there kind of thing unless they're going to drop, or rotate. And he doesn't really want that. I feel like you come to Liverpool, that right back slot is yours, mate. It is absolutely yours. You ain't got to worry about nothing. So for me, I'd be looking at someone like Ben White. Don't know what that fee would be like. Obviously, Arsenal just won the league. Are they going to sell to Liverpool? All those kind of things. But I feel like Arsenal going to need to start maybe selling a few players, getting a bit of money, generating a bit of money. Why not? Why not? Let me know your thoughts. And the last defender is Palestra. If you watch my video, make sure you check it out. I did a scouting report on him. Not watched too much of him live, I will not lie to you. But the bits that I have watched, the good and the bad, I think he's an ultra versatile individual. I think going forward, I think he's a really, really good wing back more than anything else. Let me not even say the word fullback. He probably falls more into the mold of like a Frimpong, so to speak, in terms of where they would like to operate on the pitch. You can kind of see here, even in the positions, it's more of a right mid, aka right wing back kind of thing. Do I think defensively he's sound? I think he's okay. I think Ben White would be my real option if I had to get a fullback / a centre back. I definitely would be looking at someone like Ben White. But if you were just looking, I just want a right back. By the way, he's also played at left wing as well, kind of thing, which is very, very weird. But he's decent going forward. That I'll definitely say. But if you want more on him, go check out my player analysis that I did on him anyway. But like I said, I think he's one of those options where you're just like, if it's a good fee and Liverpool obviously just sorting out areas in there, trying to be very specific, then yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say no to him. Well, it's not me, my money, but I mean, I'm not going to be angry that you got him. I think he is an up and coming wing back. I mean, 21 years of age as well. Still got a bit more development to do. Hence why I am looking more at the Van Hex or the Benjamin Whites. But I'm just trying to think. Other names that obviously I didn't mention was Senesi, but I keep hearing that this guy is already on the move to somewhere. So I just didn't put him on the list, but he'd be another player that I could potentially look at. Hey, I don't know, Zabini, what's it saying over there at PSG? You want to come on loan for a season? I don't know. Do you get what I mean? Like that's another name that I did think about. But yeah, if there's any more names, I was trying to think of left back. The only one I could really think of that I actually cared about was Anthony Robertson. There is obviously Cambiasso at Juventus. Haven't watched too much of him from this last season. It was from this season just gone. Sorry, last season I'd watched a bit of him. I liked him. I wanted Liverpool to sign him in the summer. I haven't watched too much of him this season, or not noticed too much of him, should I say, this season. So there are probably other names out there, but again, let me know your thoughts in regards to the defense. Now looking at the midfield, one of my number one picks, it's Adam Wharton. I don't know what more I need to say on this guy. Just sign him. I don't need to say anymore. Just sign him. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you need a midfielder. You need a midfielder who's comfortable in possession. You need a midfielder who's going to play forward passes. You need a midfielder who's comfortable picking up the ball from the centre backs and can kind of set play going. Why not? Why not? Next up, obviously, I've got Lamine Kamara. I think if you're going to, depending on how you're trying to do the midfield, And again, obviously, all of this is dependent on who you sell, who you buy, and like all of that kind of stuff, who's staying at the club and etc. Right? But I think Lamine Kamara, I just don't feel like the fee's going to be that much. I'm saying that it's not going to be that much. For all I know, they might double it, for example. But I just don't feel like the fee's going to be that much. And I think he has so many plus points. Comfortable in possession. He's a strong runner. He's someone who can, do passing from deep. I just think with his energy, with his tenacity, I just feel like he might be a player that would probably look raw in terms of when we first see him play. But I feel that he could probably build into things. But physically, I feel like he'd be fine anyway. It would just be you just notice the rawness. It's like an African thing, man. You'll just notice when you watch him play, kind of thing. But I think he would be a very, very good signing for Liverpool. Alex Scott is another player. Do you know what I mean? At Bournemouth, I think he's had a really good season. I thought he probably could have potentially made the England squad. I think that Jordan Henderson pick is kind of thrown off a lot of people, because I think there's a few players who could have made it instead of Jordan Henderson. But listen, that's Tuchel's kind of issue at this moment in time. But yeah, no, I think Alex Scott is a very good player. Homegrown, of course, 22 years of age. I don't know about the fee. The fee, I have a weird feeling he'd cost a lot of money. I don't know what that looks like, but I just feel like he would cost a lot of money. But he is a player who can play in DM. He can play in central midfield. He can play further forward as well. Again, that functionality. Can you play in more than one position and it not look like a madness, kind of thing? I feel like he can do that. He's got the energy. He's got the tenacity. He's got the positional awareness. He's got the tactical awareness to be able to play in that middle of the park. And he doesn't shirk. That's one thing I like about him. When I've watched him play anyway, I don't feel like he shirks in that middle of the shirks, tackles, duels, any of that. He seems like someone I can really put myself about on the pitch. And he's got that he's got the cuteness, the technique about him. Do you know what I mean? He's not just I can run around like a Declan Rice, for example, and whatever. No, he's actually got really, really good technique, kind of thing. So he's definitely a name. Another one, of course, quite a lot of you like is Mateus Fernandez from West Ham. Obviously, West Ham just gone down. That's, by the way, he's been relegated twice now. Kind of interesting, kind of coming like Ramsdale. But I'm not going to let that discourage me from wanting to sign him. I think he's another really good player in that Central Park. I think when I watched him, I remember watching him against Liverpool when he was playing for Southampton. I thought he absolutely bossed it. I thought you could just see he's like a Joao Gomez, who I didn't put on the list because I thought he was going to Atletico Madrid, but he hasn't gone yet. But when I watch him, they're so similar, so comfortable in possession, love picking the ball up from deep. They can drive with the ball. They don't shirk these tackles. He can play in multiple positions, as you guys can obviously see there. Seen him play left mid, right mid, attacking midfield, defensive, central mid. Like, he can play everywhere everywhere in midfield. That's his zones. Put him anywhere, and I think he will just be ultra comfortable. He'd definitely be a player I'd be looking at this summer. Of course, West Ham just got relegated, so I'm pretty sure that fee is not going to be a madness. Sandro Tonali, definitely a player that I would want to sign. Definitely a player. I've wanted this guy since Brescia. Then he moved to AC. Then obviously went to Newcastle, and I was just like, I don't know what that level looks like. Do you know what I mean? But he's definitely ready for the next level, man. Come on, man. Come on, Tonali, man. It's time now. It's time. You're done on time. You're done on time, Castle. Trust. It's finished. It's finished. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you've done your thing. You've shown everybody that you are a bad boy in the Premier League. Just leave now. Do you get what I'm saying? And Liverpool, I feel like this would almost be he's almost everything in one that you probably want from at least your midfield. He's got the tenacity. He's got the energy to be able to run around. He can do the box to box if you need him to. He can play deep if you need him to. He can play further forward if you need him to. He'll take shots from outside the box. He's got good technique. He can take your corners, if you need him to. He can put the tackles in if you need him to. He's not someone who's going to, hide in big games, I don't feel. And he can take games by the scruff of the neck if he really needs to, in terms of just picking up the midfield and saying, yo, come on, kind of thing, from what I've seen from him anyway. So, yeah, definitely a player that I would like Liverpool to sign. And the last one is Bernardo Silva. I don't need to say anything about him. If you don't want Bernardo Silva, I should be asking you questions. In fact, I'm going to leave it at that. Before I move on to the attack, I'm going to leave it at that. If you don't want Bernardo Silva, tell me why. He is easily the best midfielder that I've just seen on this list that I've put together. No, none of these guys are better than him. Bernardo Silva I don't care if he's 31 years of age. Let's put it this way, even if I had him just for one season, I'll take that one season. I'll take that one season, and then you just bring someone else in the following season. And to be honest, I feel like you can get 2 seasons out of him. And when I say 2 seasons, I'm not saying he's gonna be the Bernardo Silva of old, but I'm saying he's free. And I'm saying, why wouldn't you want that level of quality, that level of experience in your team? Listen, I don't need to say it anymore. Bernardo Silva, for me, you have to just grab. For free, you just grab. You just grab. Last but not least is the attack. He's probably my number 1 pick, Bradley Barcola. I'll be honest. I don't know the vibe with him. When I say the vibe, I mean amongst fans. I feel like fans are mad undecided about him, but I'm like, why? Like, he is a bad boy. You want pace? He got that. He can finish. I'm not saying he's an ultra sick finisher, but I don't think Diaz was either. And look where he's at now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they're both the same in that kind of regard. Getting him behind, I feel like if I needed him to play through the middle, I feel like he could do that. When I say play through the middle, I mean in moments within the game. I don't feel like he'd be that uncomfortable doing so, but I'm not saying that he would have to play there. He can play left wing and on the right wing as well. He's played in both positions. People are making this kind of assumption that, oh, but PSG want to let him go to get Yan Diomande. I don't look at it that way. Maybe that is true, by the way. I'm not going to say it isn't true, but I don't look at it that way. I'm looking at it as he wants to play. He feels that he should be, well, he feels he probably should be starting games, right? He's not starting enough games. Cool. Guess what? I want to go somewhere where I'm going to be a main guy, where I'm going to start games. Yan Diomande ain't starting at PSG. I promise you, he is not starting. Right wing or left wing, he ain't starting. They've already got that patterned already. What he will do, though, is come off the bench, and he's young enough for him to not maybe kick up a fuss the same way a Bradley Barcola, who's now 23 and has done, he's done his time in terms of, I've been at Lyon, cool, did my thing. I've now been at PSG for a good few seasons. I've done enough to warrant being able to start, whether it's on the left, right, through the middle, whatever. And I still ain't starting. You got Doué, you got Kvaratskhelia, you got Dembele, but you got 3 of the best attackers in world football. I promise you, where does Yan Diomande even fit in it? He'll be a sick backup player, though. That I definitely would not disagree, and I wouldn't mind that if that was what he was coming to do. But I don't feel like that's what he wants to do at Liverpool. And I feel like PSG, he would accept it. At Liverpool, he ain't accepting shit. Bradley Barcola is the same. He would come to Liverpool in a heartbeat, in my opinion, because he knows he's going to start. He 100% knows he's going to start. The other player, and listen, at the time of this video, it's 6:48 at this moment in time. It looks like Barcelona are going to side him. Now, I don't know what everyone's beef with Anthony Gordon is, and I feel like people need to explain it to me. The guy's got Liverpool, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, he had Chelsea, Arsenal. So all the top clubs want Anthony Gordon. But for some weird reason, Liverpool fans are on, nah, man, he's not even that good. What? Like, I need people to just explain it to me. Like, genuinely, I just need you to explain it to me. I just need to understand, because I don't get it. For me, I feel like he is good. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yes. I mean, people are saying, oh, but he doesn't score that many goals from open play. Okay. Cool. Like, I don't know what you want me to do with that information, bro. Like, he's got 17 goals. That's all I know. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got 22 GA this season. That's all I know. That is all I know. We weren't saying nothing about Salah when he was just packing away penalties. Definitely weren't trying to say that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But even still, I think his versatility, he can play across the front three, mainly left wing and centre forward. Probably the reason why Barcelona want him, because they need a left winger and they need someone who can play through the middle, which is an area that he can fill. But the fact that Barcelona think, yeah, he could come in and be our player like that, and Bayern Munich as well, they're battling for him. But Liverpool fans are on, yeah, nah, but I feel like Diomande and I can't remember who the other guy was, Torre, I think his name was. I was thinking, what? All right, cool. Like, I'm not even gonna diss those players. I'm not even saying that they're bad players, but the way people be talking on Anthony Gordon, but then the players that you are speaking about, I like it. To me, it just makes no sense. No sense. Like I said, for me, I'm signing Gordon 1,000,000%. I don't understand why that's even up for debate. But listen, you guys stay there. Cool. Let Barca get him. And when he cooks over there, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. Don't want to hear nothing from nobody. This one, same as Bernardo Silva. I don't care what his age is, brother. You just sign this guy. You have no strikers other than Isak. And Isak is a liability at best. At best. So guess what? I need a striker, and I need one who can put the ball in the back of the net consistently. You go and get him. I don't need to say any more on this guy. We already know what he's about. We already know what he's going to bring. We already know how old he is. We already know what he's going to probably do whilst he's in the team. He's just going to score. He's not going to look fancy. He ain't going to help with the build-up play. He ain't going to do none of that. What he's going to do is be almost like a Haaland, which is you're not going to be existing throughout the game, but you're going to put the ball in the back of the net. Bring me that. I don't care about all these other fancy hipster names that you guys keep talking about. Bring me substance. Bring me substance. Now, the last name I had on here, this one was more of more of like a, would I say, like left field kind of pick, right? And this is Kang In Lee, obviously at PSG. He's someone who I look at and I think to myself, I feel that the fee for someone like him would be fine. I don't feel like that's going to be a problem. He can play in midfield, further forward, on the right. So there I get my functionality, which is what I've been looking for. I still think he operates at a very good level. Tactically, I think he's pretty decent. Technique, he's very, very good. He can dribble. Defensively, I would say, but I guess it depends on where you're trying to put him in the role. Obviously, he's at PSG. He is never playing. Trust and believe. Like they would definitely need a lot of injuries. And he's a very good squad player in a team like PSG, which is just full of world-class players in more or less all the positions, right? But at Liverpool, I feel like, why can't he come in and play? Why not? Why can't he be a backup player to whoever your right winger that everybody wants to sign? I feel like he'd be, and I feel like he could easily start games. And if I needed to put him in attacking midfield, I feel like he could play there as well. Again, fluidity. Can we get some fluidity? Can we stop getting guys who can only play one position, and when they're out, you're kind of pissed? Like I kind of want someone who can play in a few positions and they look calm in all of them. So like I said, he's more of a left field shout, but just think on it. Don't all shout at me at once. Don't be all aggressive in the comment section. I don't want to hear that. Just think about it. Let me know your thoughts. Do you get what I'm saying? Let me know your thoughts. But that's it. Those are the players. Like I said, there's probably players that I've obviously missed out on. There's probably players that I could have spoken more on, but I wasn't here to do a deep dive on these kind of players, right? It was just to kind of show you there are players out there. It doesn't need to be the best of the best. I've just compiled a list, and that was 14 names. Liverpool, the club, probably have about 50 names that I'm just not thinking about. Heck, by the time this video is posted out, we're probably going to be linked to somebody else as well. So let me know in the comment section. I really want to know, what do people think about some of the names I brought up, some of the names I didn't bring up, who should be added to the list? Obviously, there's Sangare, I know people really like kind of thing. But if I had to choose, I'll pick Lamine Camara over Sangare anyway. But again, that's just someone I didn't pick. Senesi, I mentioned before, I thought he was going. But if he's not, I would add him to the list as well. Please let me know if some more left backs is more what I'm looking for. And goalkeepers. Goalkeepers is definitely, I've said it before, it's an area that I'm not really that strong in. So it's definitely an area I need to kind of brush up on. So let me know in regards to that. But yeah, just let me know your thoughts and I'll catch you guys real soon.